What's good, everybody? Let's get it, man. We live. It's your boy Mikey, man. Here we go. We back week 5. What is going on, everybody, man? How we doing? Week 5. We are back. Another Can We Keep It Real podcast. What's cracking? What's popping, everybody? Nice day today, right? Big shout out to the supporters out there. Big shout out to the supporters. We're going to talk about it tonight. But thank you. Please share the stream. I really appreciate it. What's going on? Week 5, man. A lot of kids out there really getting down, handling business out there. I'm looking at the Max Preps, Rhode Island High School football. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot more teams, coaches participate, putting stats up on the board. Eddie Buellen, no surprise, with 855 yards. How about Daniel Wolf, St. Ray's, right behind him? Well, I don't know about right behind him, 529 yards. And then we have Johnston struggling to get it done with the winning the games. But Neri Vasquez putting up 524 yards for Johnson High School. But we're going to be right back. I want to talk about the elephant in the room real quick. You know, we're going to talk about something, but I'm going to play this quick little clip. Give me a chance to get something done, and definitely share this.
Right, better field position after the kickoff. You gotta do, you do it.
You don't even have.
On the play.
Multiple flags on the flag.
Cause if you say another word,
Yeah, he came down the foot.
another call holding.
Take a kid from Shay and
Later shower in the pocket, only for the Jeep.
Of the Zion conversation, because we know Willie Edwards, how he feels about Mike Washington.
This is not Clowntown anymore.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Ooh, damn it, he leveled him. Oh, got a first down. Go, buddy, go, go, go. Get outside.
you got the kids coming from Shea, okay, for example. I can't physically take a kid from Shea and place him into Central. I as much as, you know.
This is how we keep it real. How we keep it real. If you got the skills and knowledge, this is how we keep it real. How we keep it real. If you got the skills and knowledge, this is how we keep it real. How we keep it real. If you got the skills and knowledge, this is how we keep it real. How we keep it real.
All right, here we are. Week 5, man. Yo, it's friggin' week 5. Imagine that, week 5. Season's more than halfway over. There's some great games. That's the only good thing about that crappy-ass realignment, that shitty-ass realignment. The only good thing about that realignment is we got some good football this season. Every week, good football. You look at some of these divisions, it's going to come all the way down to the last week. You got Charahoe and Lincoln pretty much doing what they're doing over there in Division 3A. Middletown playing good football. North Smithfield still has a chance. Coventry really, really struggling. Who thought Coventry would have been struggling? A few people did. No feeder program is a big reason. West Warwick, EWG, wrestling with the youth program with the kids over there. So Coventry really, really struggling. Tolman, big game this weekend against North Smithfield and Classical. Who knew Classical was going to be this bad? Chris McCall knew. Obviously, that's why you win a Super Bowl, you go down to Division 3. But that's another story. Does Classical beat Tollgate, or does Tollgate pick up their first win this week? Shout out to Russian. Miles Craddock with 610 yards, followed by Mount Hope football player Brock Pacheco's playing great football with 546 yards. And you already know Oscar Way is getting it done. But before I talk about some of that, I wanted to talk about something that has been going around for the last couple, like for at least a week now. There's a program, and I'm just gonna come out and say it because you know what, I come out and talk about everything else, right? Well, there's a coach out here that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, putting out a narrative that I'm extorting him, right? So, what happened was there was whoever made the agreement said they was going to give me some money. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, they were going to give me some money. The amount don't even matter. I make it clear that don't play with the money. Like, give me my money. This coach acts like he didn't know about it. I don't even care about the money. You know what? Keep the money. Wipe your butt with it. You know what I mean? Wipe your butt with it. Shine your head with it. Do whatever you want with it. I don't even want it. The point is, you're out here creating a fake narrative that people are trying to extort you and you did not know about it. But I just wanted to make it clear nobody's extorting anybody. And it's kind of funny how all of a sudden you're coming up with all these narratives since we've been kind of talking about you, comparing you to Nick Saban. You know what I mean? So nobody is extorting anybody. So you need to get that in check. I just wanted to let that know, especially for what? Allegedly $100. Like, yeah, I'm really gonna extort someone for $100. I'll let it be known now. If I'm gonna extort someone, it's gonna be for a lot more than $100. But yeah, the Kanye West interview is going on right now, but I just wanted to let it be known that there ain't no damn extorting going on. And if I was extorting, why would I come on here in public and say that? But the amount of people that reached out to me, it was just crazy. There was only 3-4 people that knew about this. When I addressed the assistant coach, I said, talk to your boy and explain this to him. And then all of a sudden, I'm prank calling people. Like, I'm a 48-year-old. I don't need to be prank calling nobody, but take your fake narrative, take that $100 bill, fold it up, rip a little hole in the middle, and wipe your butt with it. Give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Fight better field position after the kickoff. You gotta do, you do it.
And you don't even have.
On the play.
Multiple flags on the flag.
Does if you say another word?
Yeah, he came down the foot.
Another Paul Harden.
Take a kid from Shay and place.
All right, here we go. We back. We just waiting for Uncle Felix to tap in, but I'm looking at some of this division. Did you hear everything I said the last segment? All right, cool. I just wanted to look at everything, that's going on in the division A lot of great football. You look right here, Bishop Hendricken. It took him up to week 5 to get up in the standings at number 1. You got Bishop Hendricken, LaSalle Central, and NK. Ken, what scenarios could it be Bishop Hendricken and LaSalle play in the first round of the playoffs? What has to happen? Ken Hendricken and LaSalle, definitely Central has to handle their business against Bishop Hendricken. That's a fact. If Hendricken don't handle their business against, if Central don't handle their business against Bishop Hendricken coming up, that's one way. But if Central can handle their business, that's one way you could possibly see Hendricken and LaSalle in the first round. But right now, it'll play out like Hendricken and NK, LaSalle and Central, and then who knows which way it's going to go from that point on. But Eddie Bueller playing good football up there at NK. They play LaSalle this week, and for the coaches pick them, a few people picked picked NK to win. So now let's look at Division 2A, Cumberland High School. Like, who thought Cumberland High School was going to be where they are now? Like, coming out of Division 1, coming into Division 2, Cumberland High School, playing really, really good football pretty much. And win percentage matters. Win percentage really, really matters right now. How important is win percentage? I think I have some graphics up here. Let me see if I could find them. If we're looking right here, you look at win percentage, right? This is what matters. Like, the games outside your division, Division 2 and Division 1 games don't matter. The Westerly Central game tomorrow don't matter. Any of them other Division 1 playing Division 2 don't matter. NK playing LaSalle, that matters. Them games matter. Win percentage matters. The only thing that matters is win percentage. You look over here in the first column. You see Cumberland right here, 1,000. That's their win percentage right there. They're locked in, basically. Now let's go down, right? You got SK, win percentage, 0.667. This is what matters. The win percentage matters, all right? So, see this number? Your overall win percentage don't matter. It don't matter what you do with it. But right here, 6.6, this matters. Now, one socket, very good win percentage. Now, this is basically overall Division 2, but you could kind of see how it's going to shape up. Now, right here, teams like this, 0-3-3, these teams are in trouble. East Providence right now, Westerly, Cranston West is actually, they have a better win percentage than Westerly, but Westerly is ranked above them because of overall. And you also look at the points these teams are scoring. Cumberland right now has scored 110 points, and they allowed, I think, 81. What did they allow? They allowed 21 points. I'm sorry. And then you look at SK scoring 73 points, giving up 49. And this is inside the division. But now if you look overall, Cumberland with 137 points and giving up 47. So you come look at another team right here, Westerly. Inside the division, Westerly has scored 78 points. And they've given up 66 points. But you see, now this is in the division. This is where I say the division games. The division games is what matters. All that other stuff basically don't even matter. So you're looking right here, Division 1. You got Bishop Hendricken, LaSalle. And then you have, this isn't even Division 1. This is overall, which I don't understand how Cumberland is ranked number 3 in the in the state. Let's look at this other graph. These are just games that we have coming up. Yeah, so right here you got LaSalle, Hendricken, Central, and then North Kingstown is of course under it. All right, so let's go over here while we wait for Big Dog, Uncle Felix. Give me 1 second. I gotta try to get his attention. Let me see. But yeah, so we waiting for Felix to get up in here. I'm looking up some max prep stats right here. Daniel Wolf playing good football over at St. Ray's, 529 yards. Let's see what we have for passing. Evan Spencer at Cumberland, 523 yards, 23 for 37 completions. But give me a minute. I'm going to reset everything. We're going to come back and we're going to get Uncle Felix up in here straight off the Kanye. You know, I don't know if he had firsthand knowledge, but Kanye, everyone mad at Kanye, man. Everyone mad at Kanye. But give me 1 second and we're going to get, let me find this video. We're going to get Uncle Felix up in here. I'm tripping. I kind of like that us versus everybody shit, you know. I took that from Mike Washington. What's up, Felix? How we doing, man? Welcome.
Not bad. How's it going?
How's Kanye doing today? Is he in good spirits?
Yeah, it was actually a pretty pretty interesting interview. I don't know if it ended or not, but I watched 2 segments of it, and I said, let me go down to my office and get on the show.
I hear you. You know, it's like I don't think what people are seeing is what they're not telling you. You know, Kanye knew he would get this kind of backlash. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. He's not an idiot. But I don't see. I agree with him on this. Like why can't he wear a shirt? Does white lives not matter? You know what I mean? It's kind of hypocritical.
Yeah, no, I definitely it is. I guess however you look at it, no matter what you say on these situations, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Well, he's not, like Tucker brought up a good point. He's not reading from the script. You know what I mean? He being a black man, he's not supposed to say the things he's saying. And when I say he's not supposed to be saying the things, that's deemed so by like Hollywood, the left, the liberals. You know what I mean? Like I said before on my show, they want to keep you on the Democratic plantation. You have to think a certain way or else they come for you.
There you go. Well, there's your political segment of the show. Can we keep it real? You know, always keeping it real. But speaking of keeping it real, Bishop Hendricken for the first time this season is up in first place in the standings.
I love Max Preps, but I always wonder every year since I've been following Max Preps, they put Bishop Hendricken 2, either if it's behind LaSalle or North Kingston or whoever. And to me, it never made sense. But it is.
Well, what people don't know with Max Preps, the way it works, it takes like 4 weeks for them to start computing the stats, and I think that's why it takes this long. Usually, halfway through the season before we start seeing a change. But there are things that kind of I question about Max Preps, like how Cumberland is inside the top 5 or top 10 as far as teams in Rhode Island.
Cumberland's looking good. I think.
Yes, no, they are. But are
have
they that
top
good?
10. I don't know about 5, but I definitely have them in my top 10.
There you go. We'll definitely have to go over that list. Maybe we could do that next week. Yeah, I think I was looking right here. Yeah, they had them in
At 3.
They had them in at 3. In front of NK, behind LaSalle, and I just don't know if I could rock with that.
No, but it's not. I mean, I wouldn't put them that high, but I think I'd have them around 5 or 6 maybe. They're playing really well.
Cumberland is winning D2. I don't see a team physically stopping them in D2. I'll tell you what, it's a long season when October, November comes, and you're dealing with them playoff times, and them games are coming. You start wearing down a lot faster. You look at St. Ray's 2 years in a row.
They are a ground and pound team, though. I think they are. This is a Cumberland. I think they are built for a November, December season. Their quarterback, there, Evan Spencer, he's dangerous on the ground. He puts up a lot of yards on the ground, and also they had a running back last week who actually made my top 3 as well. I believe his name is something Ray, but they're looking good. They're looking real good. So
absolutely. They've been kind of putting up big numbers. This year. Yeah. Averaging 40 points a game at least.
Yeah, no, they're looking good. They right now would be, one of the top teams to beat in D2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cumberland is looking very good on that side of the ball. East Providence, East Providence and Mount Pleasant. I think they're expecting Coach Addison back this week. If all goes well, the number 11 team against the number 20 team. So East Providence really needs to. I know that they said they've been making some serious mistakes, but that is what every losing coach says. We made a lot of mistakes this week.
Exactly.
That's why
they started off really, really hot. They had me jumping on their bandwagon too, and then these last couple of weeks though, they're not looking the same.
Andy Ray said Chris Webster. That's the name of the player. I was talking earlier, Uncle Felix. I don't know if you heard it, but you know that I'm being accused of there's just rumors out there that I'm extorting a football program, and I was like, why am I gonna do that? And it's for $100. I was like, oh my goodness, so
it gives you street cred.
There you go. I get my street credibility. You know what I mean? I'm extorting a midget. But West will be a sleeper. A lot of people are saying that West is going to start turning it on late in the season. You see the game last week. They have East Providence. They had them against the ropes 28-8 most of the game. East Providence starts pounding away. They make it 22-28, to end the game.
They've been looking good as of late. Marcus Chung is a handful on special teams and on offense. He had an 85-yard kickoff return last week. He put up another 180 on the ground. He's tough. They got a wide receiver there in Carvalho, Hudson Carvalho, who's an excellent wide receiver. I'm not buying it just yet. This week here, I do expect them to get set back because they are playing Bishop Hendricken actually, and they're not winning that game.
But you know what I gotta say? Like, I hate these games, and this is why the alignment sucks. The alignment sucks a lot of things, starting with ass. But the only thing that good that came out of this alignment was that we got some excellent football games. We have had every week, and especially if you're following the coaches pick them, every week have been 10 games that you cannot pick. You
No,
cannot pick
it's
10
been
games.
pretty consistent. Everybody's going like 6-4, 5-5.
6-4, 5-5. We're definitely gonna talk. Yeah, every coach, Coach Dunbar and Coach Goodhart have been the most consistent up to this point doing, but other than that, everybody has basically the last couple of weeks 5-5.
Felix is making his move. Be careful.
Yeah, we see a lot of great games every single week. The alignment was horrible, but there are to have 4 teams in Division 1 no matter what, that sucks. You know what I mean? The alignment's ass. But we do see some great games. There are some great football games going on. No matter what you say, you ain't gonna get me to say that alignment was anything. No, you know what I mean? That was the biggest crime in football. Last from Pownell staying in Division 4, for an extra year. You know what I mean? But there's been some great games, and
There has been.
at least should be a 10-team D1. There should be more than a 4-team D1. We'll definitely cross that bridge again. This time we got Blizzy Blake and Coach Dunbar on, on the so we'll see if they can make change. Coach Dunbar said you can't make change sitting in the back of the room.
True, very true.
But supposedly it's not going to be this season. It's going to be next season. Did you see the game Central and Woonsocket this week?
I didn't catch it. I caught the highlights. I believe that game was a 26-6 or something.
26-7, I think it was. And I think that's respectable.
Yeah,
Central being where they come from, West Warwick. They had. West Warwick Woonsocket coming back from Division 2. A lot of people picked Woonsocket not even to be anywhere near the playoffs. Never mind, like up at the top of the leaderboard.
It definitely was a respect. I'm sure coaches don't play for respectful games. They want to win the games, but I think they can be, proud of themselves for that effort. Central is definitely a top 4 team. Woonsocket is not. But they're showing a lot, and believe it or not, I picked them again this week.
He picked Woonsocket. Oh my God! Hey, last time you picked Woonsocket, they won. We kind of didn't know how that was gonna go. I said, "Oh my God! I hope this isn't an omen." Uncle Felix picked
I agree.
Woonsocket.
I agree with that. Woonsocket can be a Division 1 team. They were in the past.
They were right there the last couple of years. Like they battled for playoff spots. Division 1, different animal. I bet a lot of these teams are glad they came out of Division 1.
Yeah, and that's not the right mentality, though. You know what I mean? It's the pacification of Rhode Island.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Everybody, it's like they're running from Division 1 if they're not. That's what it's all about, though. You want to be the best, and it saddens me actually to see teams, hightailing it out of there.
Yeah, Tolman is Tolman. Let's see. My Tolman boys took a tough blow to Lincoln. We about to bounce back versus North Smithfield. North Smithfield's looking for a W. They want to bounce back as well. So Tolman is playing. Tolman really. I talked to Coach DeLawrence, and and he said that we had notoriously slow starters, but 4 years in a row, Tolman has been in the playoffs. So let's just see if Tolman can do what it takes to get to the playoffs this season.
Yeah, that should be a decent game there. Lincoln is tough. That Tyler Durang, he made my top 3 backs this week. He's been putting up some great numbers this year.
Yeah, and Charahoe right now is ahead on that side of the division. So if the playoffs were to go down today, and I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but real quick, just to say something about Charahoe. If the playoffs go down today, Charahoe is definitely in to the first round spot, followed by Lincoln behind them. But Charahoe and West Warwick, I think for Division III, they have the best skill players in that entire division.
They're looking good. I mean, they're winning games. They had that. They had a little luck there too. That there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
I mean,
absolutely not.
that was probably the most exciting ending to a game I've seen in a while.
Charahoe definitely got some dogs. But before we get on to that, we're going to go through these divisions real quick, and then we're going to get on to Uncle Felix's top three. You got Division 2A, Uncle Felix. So right now remember, 4 out of 7 make it. Cumberland, Cranston West, Mount Pleasant, St. Ray's, East Providence, EG, and Burrillville in that order. Right now, East Providence, EG, and Burrillville do not make it. Will the season end? Could it end like this?
It very well could be. I mean, the only one team I think that's definitely not gonna crack that is Burrillville. They're probably on the outside looking in this season, but EP and EG, they both shown that they can play well. So I can see them possibly moving up. But I
East
wouldn't.
Providence has to do something fast.
Yes. Yeah.
So Division 2B, you got now remember it's the same thing on Division 2B. You only got 4 teams that are going to the playoffs. The other one get them BS them consolation games. They're the first losers playoff game. Barrington, SK, Woonsocket, and Portsmouth right now would be they're the 4 teams that would make it. So right now in the middle you got Shea, Westerly, and Cranston East on the bubble. Do any of them 3 teams advance any higher between Shea, Westerly, and Cranston East?
Oof. Against the 4 that you mentioned, that's going to be tough. East, actually, believe it or not, played Barrington pretty tough.
Yes, they did.
Lost by 3. I was actually surprised to see that score. So maybe
Barrington's only 2-1 in their division, and what you don't realize about Portsmouth too, they're only 1-1 inside the division.
And Barrington lost to Shea.
And right? if you go on RAIL, right at the bottom in small letters, it says stats and rankings are controlled by Max Preps. So are we looking at the rankings on RAIL website, or are we looking at, because they're totally different between who RAIL has as division leaders and who Max Preps has? It's almost similar. But on the bottom of the page on RAIL, it says, Max Preps, pretty much has control of our ranking. So we'll just have to see about that. But do you think Westerly advances? They have Woonsocket coming up. They have SK coming up. Them a big divisional games for both programs.
Yeah. They might have a chance against Woonsocket, but I don't think they'll be SK. So it's not looking good for them anyway.
All right, man. Big game, Central and Westerly coming up. But Uncle Felix, why don't you explain to everybody and give me 1 minute what Rhode Island ranked top 3 is, and I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Rhode Island Ranked is a page I started Instagram a couple of years ago. I actually started it during the COVID season. I just wanted it to be a platform to put, feature Rhode Island high school highlights, give kids some exposure, have the kids have a place where they can go to, check out the scores, check out highlights of, all their fellow players around the league, and, just keep the focus on Rhode Island football. And, thanks to everybody that's following, it's been great. It's up to 1,400 followers now. I think we've already picked up another 250 followers this year, and we're just about halfway through the season. Hopefully we'll get some more. And so what I do is every week I'll pick a top 3 from different positions. I pick top 3 from the quarterback, from the running backs, wide receivers, then I'll pick up top 3 defenders. And I scour the internet for highlights. It definitely helps when people send them in. I got parents sending them in now, and all that helps. Oh, I lost you. I can't hear you.
I gotta say, a lot more teams are putting into max preps. They're definitely putting their stats in,
Yes,
and
I've noticed that. So I think me and you yapping our mouths over here and telling everybody to to get their stats, and I think it's working.
and yes, I am very surprised. I did not think Smithfield was gonna beat Central Falls.
That's
No, I
nice.
didn't. Shout out Coach Lafayette.
There's a big asterisk next to that win, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. We'll definitely talk about it once. There we go. All right. All right. We'll definitely talk about that, but let's pull this back up. This is Uncle Felix's. Let me get to the page, and big shout out to Breakthrough. Guess what? Their travel team is gonna be taking sign-ups again, so look out for that. Breakthrough's a big supporter of us. You know, they really helped us out. So shout out to Breakthrough, and definitely keep an eye out. Trying to get the image up that I had. Where is it? Hang on a minute. I screwed that all up. Hang on one second. Here it is. There. December 2022, 14U, 14U, 15U, and now 18U travel team tryouts. The time and location will be released in the next couple weeks. So Breakthrough really stepping up, doing big things, Felix. But let's get to week 4.
Yes, sir. My week 4 top 3 quarterbacks. I had Eddie Bueller from North Kingston, who put up ridiculous numbers. He had over 300 yards passing, 5 touchdown passes this week. But uh, that's pretty much a typical Bueller week. I mean, that kid is showing to me right now he's hands down the best quarterback in the league. My number 2 is a newcomer to it. It's Evan Spencer. And I was just talking about him earlier out of Cumberland. He does a lot of his damage with his feet. He also can throw the ball and make plays with his arm. But he's a dual threat that everybody has to look out. And Cumberland's definitely got people on notice. And then number 3 is also another newcomer out of East Greenwich who played well, and they knocked off Mount Pleasant there. I believe the score was 19-7 or something like that. And I got Alex Tonasis. I'm gonna probably butchering his last name, but he played well. He threw a couple of touchdown passes there. It was very accurate, and the big reason why they knocked off Mount Pleasant this week.
Eddie Bueller, no surprise, one of the top quarterbacks in the state. I think I read earlier he put up 855 yards for the season so far, if I'm not mistaken.
He is not done. That kid, he's accurate. I love his play. He's gutsy. He knows when to run. It's just a smart play all around. He's showing me right now he's the best QB in the state.
855 yards, 213 yards per game, 52 completions of 88 attempts, 11 touchdowns, 1 pick. So he has a QBR rating right now of 127 out of 4 games. And Daniel Wolf playing another one, that's playing great football.
The Patriots should probably bring him up.
Yeah, absolutely. And Uncle Felix, I heard from my guy, Coach Washington. He said he is going to get us the stats. I said, listen, get us them stats. We want to get some of your guys. And his guy's been balling out. So we want to get some Central guys up here. So get them stats up there. But there's definitely, my man said, just about any good school can be trash. Look at my All right, man. So we're going to get on with this Rhode Island ranked. We're gonna go on to the next one. Week 4 top running backs.
Now this was a tough one. Running backs this week put up some ridiculous numbers. So in the comments section, I had a few people voicing their disapproval, which I welcome. I love that. It shows me that they actually care about the rankings and that they're paying attention. But this week here, all 3 of those running backs, I believe, were over 200 yards and scored multiple touchdowns. So that left out some people who had, monster games, but just couldn't crack the top 3. Namely Miles Chung did not crack my top 3, and he arguably could have. He had 180 yards, few touchdowns, also a kickoff return. Um, West Warwick. I'm sorry. West Warwick had a couple of running backs, so they both went over 100 yards. One of them had 4 touchdowns. You know what I mean? So they could make arguments for themselves. But the top 3 I went with were Miles Craddock out of Moses Brown. He was over 200 yards and was just a monster. Peyton Murphy from Barrington, over 200 yards and put up ridiculous numbers. And also, again, over 200 yards was Tyler Durang. You know, Lincoln just keeps rolling there. They're undefeated, and he's the big reason why. I mean, he bursts up the middle, and he's a handful to bring down.
My bad. All right, so we're gonna get on to the next one. 1 second. So yeah, definitely get your stats up there to Rhode Island ranked for sure, and Mike Washington, get them stats up. All right, get with it, Felix.
All right, the top 3 receivers. I had definitely a newcomer here, new school actually to the list, and that's everybody seems to forget St. George's High School. It's a prep school, but it is in Rhode Island, and they got a receiver there who's actually from Providence. He actually started off playing at Moses Brown. He transferred there. His name is Bryce Farrell, great young man. He just tore it up this week, scored 4 touchdowns for St. George's.
I think Bryce was a breakthrough kid.
Yeah, I believe so. He played for me basketball, football as well in FBU. Great kid, great family. And then the other 2 they're both no strangers to Rhode Island ranked, and that's Chris Bishop. I believe this is already his 2nd time this year. He caught 2 of Eddie Bueller's touchdown passes, and I also had to go with NK again, and I went with Andrew Carinello, I believe is his last name. He also hauled in 2 touchdown passes from Bueller. That offense is really clicking right now.
Felix, if we look at some of these quarterbacks around the league, we graduated a good class last year. Jalen Dennis over at Classical. You had the kid coming out of Johnston High School who's playing, I think he's playing up at UMass now.
Yes.
And now we have, we're watching Brady Mayali playing very well. We've seen him play last year, but newcomers now this year. Jalen King out of Mount Pleasant putting up 413 yards, playing good football for the amount of games that Mount Pleasant have had. Dante Melton also coming out of Woonsocket. Another kid that you're going to start hearing his name
he was
a lot.
He was actually in my top 3 last week, actually.
He
played a great game against Shea last week.
So there's going to be so many newcomers that we start hearing about lately because we graduated such a great quarterback class last season.
Yes, we did. And looks like you got the defense up there. I went with what's his name, Cole O'Brien out of EG, who had I believe 10 tackles and a sack and a half again in that win against Mount Pleasant. I also put in Carl Swanson, who came up with a key interception in their win over Narragansett. And West Warwick, as you know, is still undefeated. And to round it off, I had to go with Lincoln, who's also undefeated, Brady Mellon, who had an interception. What a great interception that was. They just swarmed the quarterback. The ball was tipped up in the air, and the linebacker Brady Mellon came down with it. But he played a great game. He was all over the place and well-deserving.
Yeah, there was some great pick sixes. I had one. I don't know if I even had a chance to get it uploaded. No, I don't think I did. But it was Westerly. It was the quarterback over there, number 4.
Lance Williams.
Lance Williams, man. And he had one tip. He almost had another pick, and I'm glad he didn't because right after that, he had a pick 6. Actually, I'm gonna get the pick 6 up here right now because I think this was it was back to back. The announcer went on to say that Lance Williams could be a next round cornerback, playing at the next level, but he definitely played very good football that night. Let me see if I can get the video up here. I think Lance Williams has been a very good quarterback, good He plays punt returner,
He's
cornerback.
all over the field for them. He's an excellent.
Definitely. But here is that play.
Big drive to stop here. And the quarterback keeps it, rolls to his right. Not much time, but he throws. Picked off by the defense, number 34. And he is going to get taken down. Big D for the Bulldogs.
That wasn't the pick six, but that was another interception that he had. But he had another one, nice one for a pick six. So we want to see them pick sixes. So if you have pick six videos, send them in. Feel like coaches pick them this week, man. It's getting pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie, man. It's like so tight right now. Everybody is right there, 5-5, 6-4. It looks like Coach Dunbar and Coach Goodhart right now are at the top of the leaderboard. Coach Dunbar is ahead, I think, by one game over Goodhart. But how do you feel so far about Coach's Pick'em, Felix?
I think it's great. It's another great way to get everybody interested. It's all in fun. And it's cool to see what these other coaches think about, their competition or, other teams around the league. I think it's excellent.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get one of the images up on the board. But let's look with some of the coaches who picked who this week. Let's see. We'll start off with Coach Ryan McCormick. And I think I got the games at the bottom of the screen, if I'm not
Ryan
mistaken.
McCormick is actually playing the game right now as we speak.
Yes, UMass Dartmouth. Shout out to him. This is a short week. What do you have? He had a Friday night game.
Yep, he's back
last week. Angel Sanchez, some people are saying, the top receiver in college football, or one of them.
He's got to be up there. I mean, he missed a couple of games, so his numbers might not be up there compared to other receivers. But in the 2 games that he's played, not counting today, he's played 2 games. He's over 300 yards receiving, and with a couple of touchdowns. And expect a lot more from him. That kid is he's different.
I'm so impressed by the stats UMass Dartmouth has been putting up the last couple of weeks. They were the number 6 offense in college football, not in Division III. In college football, they were the number 6 offense. Is that impressive? Or
that's very impressive.
And I think in Division III they was the number 1. So shout out to them. And they took a page out of Salve Regina's book going back a few years back. Rhode Island they go heavy with Rhode Island kids.
Yeah.
But Coach McCormick picked N.K. Rogers this week, Middletown, Johnston, Portsmouth. Oh, it was just last week. Let's see. No, that was this week. I'm sorry. Okay. Portsmouth, Central Falls, North Providence, EP, and Davies. Who did you pick this week? I'll tell you. Oh, do you have your picks?
I texted them to you.
I do have them. I just wasn't sure. That's right. Shout out Bernard Parson. Yes, Westerly Central.
For those of you wondering, UMass is currently. Oh, it looks like the game's over. They won 28-14 against Mass Maritime today.
They're running out of teams to knock them off. Is somebody gonna be are they gonna get there?
And looks like Angel Sanchez caught a 22-yard touchdown pass. And let's see what his stats were for the day. He had 4 catches, 138 yards, and a touchdown. Dante Avila Santos out of Cumberland threw for 266 yards, 1 touchdown pass, and that was obviously to Angel Sanchez. So, they put up some decent numbers here. I'm not sure if they're the number 1 team in Division III, though, with the offense. I mean, they're definitely up there. But
yeah, I don't know. I know the other day overall offense after last game, they were. I know Bridgewater scored 80-something points.
I know the number 2 rushing team in Division III resides in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Who's flagging you, Bernard? I don't know how somebody would be flagging you, but nobody should be flagging anyone over here. Shout out to my guy Bernard. Not everybody can handle Bernard. That's my boy though. So we have Coach Piver pick Charahoe this week. Cumberland High School, Burrville, Moses Brown, Central Falls, Woonsocket, Classical, EWG, Prout, LaSalle, and Barrington. All pretty much decent picks, decent games. Let me get up here. Let me see. Who do we have? And then we'll get going with our predictions, and that'll basically we'll wrap it up after that. Last week, man, everybody had a tough last week, man. Even Rhode Island ranked picks for week. Let's see, week 4. Last week we had NK and St. Ray's, Rogers and Mount Hope, Middletown, Coventry. I didn't expect that. I thought Coventry was going to get the W, and they play Lincoln this week. They don't want to lose 3 in a row.
They might do it because that offense is rolling right now.
Oh, Lincoln is definitely playing outstanding football right now. Division 4, real quick. Davies, Central Falls this weekend. Smithfield beat Central Falls last week. I gotta say, I was surprised. How do you feel about Division 4, Felix, with Davies, Smithfield, CF, and Tiverton in the top 4 teams?
Central Falls and Smithfield at the top 2. I know Smithfield knocked off CF this week. But the reason I was saying there's a little asterisk or a big asterisk next to that win because CF was without their playmaker, their wide receiver there who sat out the game. He makes a big difference if he plays that game, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's always,
injuries are all a part of the game. So
yes, exactly. Hopefully he'll be ready for this week. Shout out to Coach LaPierre. Those that don't know, he's retiring after 20 years.
Oh, good for him. And that game also highlighted the importance of a kicker. CF was without a kicker, and when they scored in overtime, they ended up going for 2, and I heard they were a few blades of grass short of getting the 2-point conversion.
Okay, we're gonna get some people butt hurt during this segment, man. We're gonna do some quick predictions. The first game is going to be Barrington and SK. Playing good. Barrington, they're on a wave. They're on like Sue Surf's wave, up and down. They lose to Shea. They beat Westerly. Have a challenging game against East.
That Shea game gives me a headache when I think about it because I had no idea they would lose that game. But they have a great quarterback in McClellan there. He's a big weapon for them. But SK, they're the team nobody's talking about. They're playing really well, and I think SK will win that game.
And SK, a team that's notorious known for like 6 running plays. Yeah, SK's been playing good football, very good football. A next game, Mount Pleasant and East Providence, 2 teams that Mount Pleasant just started playing a week ago. Like they really. Who wins that?
They came off with that loss to EG, which they can't be too happy about. But I think they got to get used to it because I see them getting another L this week here.
Why did Maya miss the Central Falls game?
I'm not sure. The article I read said he was injured or something like that, but he didn't. I know he didn't play.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Valley Breeze has an article on it if you want to look it up.
My boy Fat Joe says that's a Jopa moment. But anyway, West Warwick High School. You know what? I heard Al saying that he don't remember the last time West Warwick was 2-0. West Warwick is 4-0.
4-0, and that's
they're playing Rogers
in big part to their coaching hire, which I was telling everybody a couple of years ago. That's going to pay off dividends, and here it is paying off dividends right now.
West Pennington, very good addition over there. His second year, They're looking very good. Come down to Division 3, play some good football. But some people think they should stay in Division 3.
Well, Division 3 is the new Division 2.
Hey, here we go. Here
You know
we
what I
go
mean?
about that
Because
too.
because we have Division 1 is a 4-guy team. Division 2 is the old Division 1. So Division 3 is the old Division 2, really.
Did you know what? I really have to interrupt this. I have an Eric Rube idiot moment.
Just
Did
one?
you see he's actually promoting, or there's some Facebook page. Let me find the name of it. It's something to do with Friday and beer. It has no affiliation with high school football. And here's a guy that he's using their content now. It's an alcoholic page. I got the name right over because I was like, oh, Friday Beers. He's on their Instagram account. He takes their screenshots. Not only that, he's been stealing from Fans Only Sports for 2 years. Now he's starting to do Fans Only been giving credit to photographers over the last, recently, actually for a long time, and now all of a sudden here comes Eric Rube giving credit to photographers. He copied you, and now he's copying. Look, this Instagram page, it's called Friday Beers, right? It has no business being associated with any high school sports at all. And he's taking screen grabs from it and he's using it on his Twitter page, but I just thought it was kind of reckless because alcohol, you know what I mean? You're kind of in high school football and you're using,
Well,
if you look at Friday Beers on Instagram.
Not to beat a dead horse, but like I said, that guy, the reason he will fail and will always fail is because it's not about the kids first. For him, it's it's a job, and he's trying to, to boost himself up. He's not about the kids. I've said that before, so it doesn't surprise me when he screws up like that.
No, he's a clown. He's a clown. He's my son. He hasn't showed up for work in 2 days. I got his chair over here. It's empty. Pilgrim Narragansett.
For the person who asked about Alex Maya not playing, I found the article. It's in Valley Breeze. It says the Warriors were less explosive on offense and felt the absence of injured senior wide receiver Alex Maya. So I guess he was injured. He was out with a hand injury. Lapia thinks that Maya could have taken some of the pressure off senior wideout Andreni Maldonado, as well as giving Lovett another option on offense.
Now, the Maldonado kid,
hand injury.
I think Coach LaPierre said that he's related to another Maldonado that played for Central Falls at one time. Yeah.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
Pilgrim High School and Narragansett, 2 teams, in my opinion, that are struggling. Narragansett did better last week, putting 21 on West Warwick. No team has put 21 points on West Warwick. And Chris Webster said he broke his hand.
Yep.
What do you think about the Pilgrim and Narragansett game?
That should be a really good game because both teams need to win really bad. Where is that game?
That game will be at Pilgrim.
I'm gonna go with Pilgrim there.
I mean, you can play with a broken hand. I don't know if he's out against Davies this week. I seen broken hands get wrapped up pretty good.
But can you play receiver with a broken hand?
It depends how good you can catch with the other hand. So who'd you say you were going to go with?
I think I'm going to go with Pilgrim. Although, yeah, I'm going to go with Pilgrim.
I know last week Narragansett just got one of their running backs back, and that was a difference maker in that West Warwick game for sure. But
they made some changes there. When I was watching the game, they had a couple of different kids playing at quarterback. So I know they're still trying to figure out what to do at that position.
Charahoe and Middletown. Charahoe having some good skill players. Some that play a couple weeks ago, I still say so far was the play of the year with the lateral for the touchdown for the win of the game. You could check that game out on NFHS. I believe it was a fantastic play, Felix.
Yes, it was. But just like SK, Middletown's another team nobody's talking about, and they're playing really well. So I'm actually gonna go with Middletown in that game.
Tolman and North Smithfield, two teams that desperately need a win. You got two line coaches, Coach Mock over there going against Eddie Insco. You know, who is going to win the battle in the line? Never mind the game. Who wins the trenches?
See, I like North Smith. Excuse me. I like North Smithfield. I like what Jeff Piver is doing with that program. The only thing about North Smithfield is that they're thin in numbers, and that's gonna hurt them in a physical, what should be a physical game against Tolman. So I could see Tolman winning that game just strictly on overpowering them.
Yeah, game against Classical last week. I think I was told that right before the game, they was told that one of their players was not playing because he was sick, I guess, the Thursday and Friday before the game. So he didn't go to school. So you don't go to school, you can't play.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because North Smithfield, when you're dealing with low numbers on a team like that, there's no room for error. You know what I mean? Somebody goes down, somebody gets sick or something like that. It's a difference that means win or lose.
I heard they actually had their class the other day, their hazing class, that all the coaches have to take, and they was just like besides themselves. The superintendent was like, I have no remorse for what I done. I do it again. All this blah, blah, and that's another thing. They said that when this came out that there was no allegations found against these kids, everybody said they would get up and scream with them and say, I'm sorry. They would stand hand in hand with them kids. And I haven't seen one person, including the athletic director, Matt Tech. He hasn't even got up and acknowledged these kids yet, which is horrible.
Too bad.
Yes, it's just whack. You know what I mean? And I'll say it. I have no problem about saying it. North Kingstown and LaSalle.
No, I'm actually going with NK in this game.
Yeah, I noticed that, huh? You're taking the other way. Can NK get it done?
I'm buying the NK offense right now. It's firing on all cylinders, and I don't see the LaSalle defense slowing them down.
I gotta say, Central turns the ball over 5 times. LaSalle should have dog walked Central in that game.
Not a knock on Terrence Campbell, the running back at LaSalle. He's a very good running back, and I believe only a sophomore, so that kid's going to be a beast for years to come. As good as he is, he's not James L. Lassiter in the backfield, and they have James L. Lassiter right now playing the slot, and that changes the dynamics of that team because James L. is hands down, if he's playing the running back, is the best running back in the state.
The old man said, Bernard said, smart man, take NK. But another big game, Mount Hope and Johnston. A lot of these games, Felix, you really don't know which way to go.
Yeah, Mount Hope is one of those teams, they surprise you one week and then they think Johnston's been struggling all year long, so you got to go with Mount Hope.
Mount Hope. They have what's that kid's name? Pacheco.
Brock Pacheco. He had a huge game last week. He, somebody stated the case that he should have been in the top 3 as well.
Phenomenal football player. Get that information to you. And maybe more people can. Well, only 3 people can make it, but yeah, get that information out there.
That's why it's tough. It's tough. And this was not a good week. If you were running back and you ran for 150 yards, which is by no means a bad game, that's a great game. You didn't play well enough to make the top 3 this week.
Yeah, talk about a team that ain't playing well. Let's talk about Hope for a minute. I get a phone call the other day. It's from an attorney, right? It's from an attorney saying, I did a podcast a few weeks ago about Hope High School. The athletic director had all these kids that were not eligible on the roster. The coach says, I'm not playing the injury fund game. He takes a stand on that, on safety, and he don't go. So the next morning, you're fired. Well, now they realize they can't fire him on safety. So a couple days after that, somebody leaked to me an email package from HR on Hope High School, and So now the lawyer calls me and says, the coach Jerry over there is being fired because he leaked sensitive information to a podcast. And where did you get your information? And I said, I don't even know who this coach Jerry is, but I'll tell you what, it didn't come from Coach Jerry. And if you want to know now, it actually came from the HR department. I'll let people know now where the information came from, but imagine that they want me to sign an affidavit saying that I didn't give the information to, I don't even know this Coach Jerry, but yeah, I just wanted to bring that up since I heard the word hope and I didn't have a chance to tell you that earlier. I think I'm causing too much trouble, Felix.
These rats don't like the lights being shined on them. They like to be in the dark.
Don't. That's right.
And what you're doing is shining the lights on them. Good for you.
Yeah, speaking of Cumberland, we're going to talk about St. Ray's and Cumberland right now. I think Cumberland youth football, I heard 3 board members resigned this week alone. They resigned over a couple weeks ago. We tried to get the veteran. They denied a veteran, a military veteran. He was a Ranger Special Forces. They denied him a chance to coach. And I guess the president and the vice president asked the other members to fudge the minutes. Wow. And they ended up resigning recently. So that's going to be a big story coming out. But Cumberland Clippers, they're winning right now in high school. They're playing St. Ray's. Are they going to continue to win?
Oh, that game is on today.
Oh, it's today.
Oh, yeah. I Cumberland won that game. Cumberland's playing really well.
Cumberland's playing good football. I'm surprised.
St. Ray's graduated a ton of athletes last year. Obviously they still have one of the best athletes in the state. But this is football. It's not a one-man show. They're not the same team they were. Cumberland right now is rolling, and yeah, they'll win that game. What's the score of that game?
It's actually tomorrow, that game. But did you know my son coaches on that team?
On what team?
Cumberland, Josh Lima.
So your other son.
That's my other son. That's Eric's brother.
By the way, I just happened to go into the D3 football stats. Dante Aviles, number 3 in the nation in passing yards.
That's amazing. Yo, shout out to Dante, a Cumberland, a product of Cumberland. Yeah, the number 3 in the nation.
And that kid, he just got thrusted into the starting position last year. You know what I mean? When the UMass quarterback went down, the kid came in, and I tell you what, he's been playing well and has not looked back. That kid is doing special things. He's only a sophomore, so we're gonna see him, for a few more years doing what he does.
My boy said, "Man, you must have a lot of sons." Yeah, and I got 2 more today. Yeah. Yes, I do. They're all stepbrothers, but yeah, absolutely, Felix. Incredible what UMass is doing, especially the numbers that they're putting up. You don't expect the kid from Cumberland, Gaychuk, to go down.
He's also number 2 in passing touchdowns. He has 19 touchdown passes.
Imagine that. The kid Gaychuk goes down. After he comes back, first play of the year, bang, he goes down. I don't care who you are. Mike Murray said he would have told me this, but I said, who in the world would have said that Dante was going to do what he did? Who could have predicted that?
No, yeah. I know I didn't.
Golden Helmet Awards.
Yeah, he had a special season last year, leading them to a bowl victory in the New England Bowl. This year, after that big win over Framingham State, they have a chance to capture the conference title. So we might get to see UMass get into the D3 national playoffs, which would be
what I'm saying.
Fun to see.
I think I've been kind of screaming that all year. And a lot of people said they gotta get by who? Yeah, Framingham.
I didn't see that happening. But they
get by Framingham, and look at it now. It's like Bridgewater might be their only team that's possibly standing in their way.
We'll see.
Plymouth too. They still got to play Plymouth, right?
One game at a time.
All right, all right, all right. We'll go one game at a time. And the next game, Cranston West is going to have Bishop Hendricken come into their house, and Cranston West is going to get up. Tell us, Felix.
It's Bishop Hendricken is traveling to Cranston West. Cranston West has been playing better as of late, but they're going to see the difference of.
But they're traveling. They could get flight logged. Travel logged. What do you call that? When you're disoriented. Who knows? Anything can happen.
Little jet lag, but no,
maybe what happened with Pilgrim, the bus might not show up.
There you go. And especially Hendricken coming off a big loss against Catholic Memorial up in Catholic Memorial, so I'm sure they're going to be hungry for a victory, and that doesn't spell good news for Cranston West.
Catholic Memorial must be like, I got 2 kids too, LaSalle and Hendricken.
Yeah. I mean, that school, in my opinion, and actually Keith Cross said the same thing. I don't think they're the best team in New England. They're probably the best team in the Northeast.
Really?
That team is that good.
We had a lot of conversation, a lot of people, and people send me your opinion. If we had a Mount Rushmore, Rhode Island, I need 4 coaches that belong up there. Let me know. We talked about to do Foxy, Irvin Nelson, but what I do ask, yes, Bill Stringfellow, somebody recommend. Also, Sandy Gorman. I can't say Sandy Gorman does not belong on Mount Rushmore, Rhode Island football. Like, what are we doing here? The Burrville coach, couple way back in the day, you could put an argument for him. Once West Warwick, you have to put an argument for Keith Croft.
Clearly, I mean, the guy's won 11 out of the past 12. How does he not get mentioned?
11 in a row. Not only you have to have an argument for Keith Croft, and I reserve 1 spot for myself. So, but yeah, we're gonna have that conversation in the next couple weeks. Mount Rushmore, Rhode Island high school football coaches, who belongs on that list? Some names that people have been sending into me are let me see. Foxy Marshall was another one. He was, on he actually played on the Hall of Fame of Pat Abruzzi from 70 to 77, and they won championships with Warren High School back in 72, 73, 74. Listen to this. Won 32 straight league games. How can he not possibly be one of the best coaches, to ever coach Rhode Island football? So that's what we're talking about. Irvin Nelson was another one. Gig Paraso. Bob Casabetter, the man that they just named Bishop Hendricken football field after. Monk Maznicki. Tom Eskilston. Ralph Brown. These are just some of the names that people sent in when we start talking about the Mount Rushmore of high school football.
Mm-hmm.
Do we put West Pennington on that list yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Definitely go review his book before he gives you a damn ticket. All right, Felix, man. Thank you. Tomorrow, a lot of good football going on. What game are you going to?
Tomorrow, not sure yet. To be honest with you, I not sure yet. But I will be popping up. I will be popping up. That's for sure.
Big shout out to our friend.
Listen, no one's going to give you more coverage. No one's going to be at more games. No one's going to be more informed. I'm not just some guy sitting in his basement spouting off about who's winning games and who's doing what. We're real. The rebellion is real. Providence Journal coverage is going to be real this year. It's almost here.
The rebellion is real.
That's right. How do you even use a hashtag with one of your haters' names on it? How do you do that?
He's not thinking clearly.
I can't even wear a jersey of a football player I don't like. How are you going to use someone else's name for a damn hashtag? And that's what I mean. People him.
He wants to be like Daddy.
He wants to be like Daddy. You're absolutely right. Hey, not everybody has integrity. You know, just like my boy.
Now deal with it. We see what happened when the last dude tried to. Yeah, I bet he probably went home and cried too.
The Division II protection program. I remember when that was going on, and I had the picture of Lima, and I put the Division II protection program on the back of his shirt. My other son.
That's funny.
I thought he was supposed to step down as president this year. I think he wanted to get us off his back. Poor Ferraro was supposed to take over. He got the shit end of the stick. But till next week, Felix, man, it's been real. I appreciate it. We'll be back here tomorrow with Coach Pennington after his game. You know, that's about it, Felix. Any last words?
Nope. Everybody have a great weekend, safe weekend, and God bless.
And I'm not extorting nobody. All right, we out.
Fight better field position after the kickoff. You gotta do, you do it.
And you don't even have.
On the play.
Multiple flags on the flag.
Does it be saying another word?
Yeah, he came down with
Another Paul Harden.
take a kid from Shea and place.
In the pocket, only for the Jeep.
This is not Clown Town anymore.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.